send, 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 send.
You said yes when you meant no. Not to something dramatic, just a dinner you could not afford, a round of drinks you did not need to buy, a gift that stretched the budget, a trip deposit for a holiday that was never really in your plan. You said yes because saying no felt worse than saying yes, because disappointing someone felt more expensive than the actual expense. And here's the thing nobody tells you about people pleasing with money: it has a price tag, not just the individual purchases. The cumulative, compounding, year over year cost of spending money to manage other people's feelings. And for some people, that number is quietly one of the biggest financial leaks in their entire life. Let me tell you about Jade. Jade is 29. She works in marketing in Vancouver. She earns $58,000 a year. She is kind, generous, well liked, and perpetually stressed about money in a way she cannot fully explain. She tracks her spending. She does not spend on anything extravagant. She is not irresponsible. And yet, somehow, at the end of every month, there is less left than there should be. Here is what her last year actually looked like. Her friend group planned a bachelorette trip to Montreal. It was not in Jade's budget. She went anyway because saying no felt like letting everyone down. Cost: $1,100. Her colleagues' leaving collection came around 3 times this year. She contributed each time more than she wanted to because she did not want to be the person who gave less than everyone else. Cost: $180. She is always the one who suggests splitting the bill evenly at restaurants, even when she ordered the least, because asking for a separate bill feels awkward. Across a year of group dinners, approximately $600 more than her actual share. She bought her mom a birthday gift beyond her means because her mom's expectations have always been high and disappointing. Her feels unbearable. Cost: $340. She covered a friend's portion of a shared expense when the friend was short, knowing the friend would not repay it but not wanting to create tension. Cost: $250. She tipped beyond what she planned because she felt watched and judged in the moment. Cumulative: approximately $200 over the year. Total people-pleasing spend across 1 year: approximately $2,670. Jade does not have a spending problem. Jade has a boundary problem that costs her $2,670 a year, and she has never once called it that. Let me explain why people-pleasing with money is so financially destructive and so hard to see clearly from the inside. People-pleasing spending does not feel like spending. It feels like being a good person. It feels like generosity, like loyalty, like not being the difficult one, like caring about the people around you. And all of those feelings are real, and they are not bad in themselves. The problem is what is underneath them. Think of a bucket with a crack in the bottom. You keep filling it. You pour in your salary every month. You try to save. You try to invest. But there is a crack, not a huge one, just a consistent one, and water keeps seeping out quietly at the bottom. You focus on pouring more in. You track what goes out the top. But the crack at the bottom, the invisible drain of money spent to avoid social discomfort, keeps running. That crack is not greed. It is not recklessness. It is the specific, trained inability to tolerate the discomfort of disappointing someone, even briefly, even mildly, even when they would understand. People pleasers learned somewhere, often in childhood, often in environments where their acceptance felt conditional, that keeping others comfortable was safer than keeping themselves financially protected. And that lesson, absorbed into the body and the nervous system, does not turn off at the bank account. It shows up at every restaurant table, every group chat planning thread, every colleague's leaving collection, every family expectation. And every time it shows up, it costs money. Let me show you what Jade's people-pleasing spending actually costs her retirement: $2,670 per year. She is 29. Retirement at 65 36 years. $2,670 per year redirected to her TFSA at 8% average annual return over 36 years. Not $96,120, which would be the simple sum. Approximately $490,000, nearly $500,000, from spending designed to manage social discomfort rather than to meet genuine needs or genuine desires. Not from one dramatic mistake, from hundreds of small yeses she did not actually mean. Now, here is the version where Jade changes one thing. She does not become a different person. She does not stop being generous. She does not refuse every social expense. She simply builds a social budget, a deliberate monthly allocation for exactly this kind of spending. And when it is depleted, the answer becomes not this month, rather than yes, while silently panicking. Her social budget, $150 per month, $1,800 per year. She redirects the remaining $870 per year to her TFSA, $870 per year at 8% over 36 years, approximately $182,000. She did not cut her social life. She structured it, and the structure saved her $182,000. Here is how to identify and close the people-pleasing spending drain without becoming a different person or losing the relationships you care about. The first step is the audit. Go back through the last 3 months of spending and tag every transaction that was driven by social pressure rather than genuine desire. Not every social expense, just the ones where the honest answer to, did I want to spend this, is no, but I felt like I had to. Add them up. See the number clearly. Name it. This is not self-criticism. This is measurement. You cannot close a crack you cannot see. The second step is building a social budget, a deliberate monthly allocation specifically for social and relationship-driven spending. The key word is deliberate. You decide the number in advance in a calm moment, not in the moment of social pressure when the group chat is active and everyone is adding their deposits. When a request comes in, a trip, a collection, a dinner, a gift, you check the social budget first. If it fits, you contribute from a place of genuine choice. If it does not, the answer is not a panicked yes. It is a genuine not this time. The third step is learning one sentence. Just one. You do not need a long explanation. You do not owe people a detailed financial disclosure. You need one calm, warm, honest sentence for the moments when the answer is no. I cannot make that one work right now, but I hope you have the best time. That is outside my budget this month. I would love to celebrate in another way. I am keeping things tight right now, but I am so glad you asked me. These sentences do not make you the difficult one. They make you the honest one. And honest is more respectful than a resentful yes. The fourth step is separating generosity from compliance. Genuine generosity feels good before, during, and after. It comes from a place of genuine desire to give. People-pleasing spending feels like relief in the moment and low-grade resentment afterward. The relief is the temporary absence of social discomfort. The resentment is your financial well-being responding to something that did not actually serve you. When you feel that resentment, name it. I did not actually want to do that. I did it to avoid an uncomfortable feeling. That naming creates a gap between the social pressure and the automatic yes. And in that gap, a choice can be made. The fifth step is automating the redirected amount before the social pressure arrives. On payday, the portion of the social budget you are not spending on genuine social enjoyment goes automatically to your TFSA. It is gone before the group chat activates, before the restaurant bill arrives, before the leaving collection email hits your inbox. Money you never see in your spending account is money you never feel pressure to deploy socially. Here is the reframe that changes the relationship between people-pleasing and money permanently. Saying no to a financial request is not unkind. Saying yes when you mean no, and building quiet resentment, financial stress, and a retirement account that reflects everyone else's comfort rather than your own future, that is not kindness either. True generosity comes from abundance, from a full bucket that can genuinely spare the water. Spending money you do not have on people who would understand if you said no is not generosity. It is self abandonment dressed up as care. The most financially generous version of you is not the one who says yes to everything at 29 and has nothing at 65. It is the one who builds the reservoir, who says no generously when needed, and who, at 65, can actually give in ways that matter because she has something real to give from. The people who truly love you will not stop loving you because you said not this month. And the people who would needed to be reconsidered anyway. Jade did the audit. She sat with the number for a day. Then she built a $150 monthly social budget, automated $72 per month to her TFSA, the redirected portion, and wrote her one sentence. She used it twice in the first month. Nobody stopped being her friend. One person was briefly sulky, then moved on. The resentment she used to feel after saying yes when she meant no, gone, because the decisions she was making were now actually hers. The crack in the bucket is being fixed, not by becoming less generous, by becoming genuinely generous, with a plan, with a budget, with the full knowledge that the money you spend is money you chose to spend. Go do the audit this week. Tag the transactions. Add the number. Then ask yourself, honestly, how much of your financial life has been spent keeping other people comfortable at the cost of your own future? Because the people-pleasing spending that felt like kindness had a price tag, and you just found out what it was. Drop a comment and tell me, do you recognize this pattern in yourself? Are you the one who always says yes to the group trip, always covers the awkward bill, always gives more than you plan to? Tell me your story. I read every comment and I want to hear it. If you know someone who is endlessly generous with everyone except their own financial future, share this video, not as a critique, as the mirror they might need. Subscribe to Nuella Invests. Every week we cover the money conversations that feel personal, because they are. See you in the next one.